Spirit, back with another video. This is the first time that I have been in front of the camera, but I decided to do the YouTube Pagan Challenge 2017, and I figured that I should be in the front of the camera when I do it. So I missed last year's YouTube Pagan Challenge, and I was kind of bummed that I did because it had really interesting questions to help you get to know me better. So I think what I've decided to do is to do both the 2017 and the 2016 challenge concurrently. So what I will do is I will answer the questions for 2017 and then incorporate questions from the 2016 challenge. So it looks like the 2017 challenge is all about the Book of Shadows. So I'm going to do those first and then we'll see where we are on time. So it looks like the first question, I've got it here. It says show and tell, your grimoires, notebooks, journals, etc. and what type of book do you prefer? So this is my Book of Shadow currently. And when I first started, I started off with this notebook. It's a little kind of sketchbook. When I started my practice when I was 12, about almost 13. And so this is the very first Book of Shadows that I had. It's just a plain notebook and I would write things in it. Eventually I kind of outgrew this, and what I moved on to was a 5-star notebook. You know, the ones with the pockets. Everyone had one, you know, a 5-star notebook when I was in school. And I really liked it, and I had it for a really long time. But as time progressed, because it was like a spiral bound, you know, papers got ripped out, or even with the pockets things would fall out, or I outgrew it. And what ends up happening is whenever I get an idea or something that I want to write down, I have notebooks everywhere. I have a bookshelf that has about 20 just plain notebooks, and I have things in everything. So what I finally decided is I really probably should get this in a book. And so I've been working on this book just recently, so it's not all the way done, but I'm now having to go through all the notebooks that I have and decide what I still believe, what still rings true for me, and then incorporate them now into my new book. I have tried doing this before, but I think like a lot of witches and pagans, it's very hard to get over that perfectionism. Like, oh my gosh, I screwed up. Oh, I misspelled something. Or what happens to me a lot is that my mind's going much faster than my hand is writing, and so I'll skip words. And then I'm like, no, no, I missed this word, and I don't like it. Then I'm like, it's not perfect anymore. What really changed for me is I watched a video by, I think her name is Molly Roberts. She's her speak on YouTube about being creative with your Book of Shadows, and her video changed my whole perspective, because her book, she started it off as a sketchbook, and then she said, what do you do when you mess up? She tears the pages out, she paints over them, and I'm artistic. I enjoy to create and draw and make things, and it just changed my perspective so much. And that's when I finally decided I can do this. If I screw up, guess what? I'll just paint over it, or I'll rip it out. It changed my world. So I've now been working on this book. So, and I love watching when this challenge came on and I saw how many Book of Shadows were coming on. I was so excited because I love watching videos about people's Book of Shadows, what they put in it, how they create them. It's completely fascinating to me, but I haven't seen this yet, so maybe I'm the first, maybe not, I don't know. You guys can tell me. So what I have done here is I went to Michael's and I got a sketchbook. Now sketchbooks, most of the time they have acid-free paper, so it's not going to ruin anything. And one of my favorite movies, if not my favorite movie, is Practical Magic, just like a lot of witches and a lot of other pagans. And one thing that I really like about that book is that it has two sides. It has a front side and then it has a back side to it, like a hidden back side. And I thought, oh, I wish I could make that book. Well, then one day it just dawned on me, I can make that book, kind of. So what I did is I went and got 2 black sketchbooks, and then this is the fascinating part, I glued them together. Okay, so these books are glued together. What I have done is, here's the front cover. And so, okay, when I was saying that I had tried to do this before, I had bought another little book of shadows. It was on green leather with this beautiful image of this goddess, and it had like homemade paper, but the paper had like fabric in it, but it didn't take pen really well, so that was out the window. But I love the leather, so what I did is I cut the leather and glued the image to the front. So now this is my image, and I painted it because the image wasn't painted and I wanted to really emphasize her features. So I've got this beautiful nurturing mother goddess now. So as you can see, so I glued 2 sketchbooks together, and what happens, so you've got this end, okay, and I'll go through a little bit of what I've got. And then if I wanted to put, like, all my friend stuff has all about magic and correspondences and things like that. But then if I just flip it this way, this is the other cover of the old book Shadows, then I've got a whole new side to put spells in or whatever I want to put in. I've got stuff falling out because, like I said, I'm sorting things in. But now I've got a whole other side to the book. So this is one book now with 2 sides. I don't know. I thought it was pretty exciting when I realized that I could do this. I didn't see it anywhere. It just came to me. And I was so excited that this inspiration came. So this is my current book of shadows. What I've done, so I was really inspired by that video, like I said. So this is a Mod Podge of things. So I've got decorative paper from the scrapbook section at like Michael's and Joann's. And then my next page, and I'll cover some of the pages because I've got family members on here, but I put photos of myself from infancy, from a baby all the way to now, and I think I'll progressively do that throughout the course of me developing. I have a lot of different textures and ideas and Mod Podge and paint, and this is Our Lady of Guadalupe. So I grew up Catholic and I'm Hispanic. When I left Catholicism, now I used to dream her a lot. And when I became pagan or Wiccan, I don't know what I consider myself. I think I'm eclectic witch, I guess. She kind of came with me. It was just a natural progression for her to come along with me. So she did, and so she is my matron goddess. And so she's on the first cover, and then like this is plastic, and I've incorporated her because I kind of wanted her like through a veil. And then here I have some things about some kind of personal goals that I enjoy. So because I've tried, because I've taken from other books, these pages are much smaller because this came from another book that I had started and then it just didn't work out. Right here I've got who I am and what I believe, which is very important to me. And see, like, I've got transparencies in here. I've got magazine images, but at the same time I've got it's just multi-dimensional is what this book is. I've dried these flowers myself. Here's my book of shadows book blessings. So I did another question it says is, how do you protect and consecrate your book? Well, I did consecrate and add protection to this book I blessed it with each of the elements. I did it in a full circle ritual and blessed this book because for the first time, like, I really want this to be my book, and that was huge for me, that I wasn't just deciding to keep writing in just random notebooks. So and so I've pretty much, I think, answered all the questions that I wanted to answer. Is how do you get over perfectionism? How did you protect and consecrate and show and tell? I think we've got one more question on the book, and I'll go on it. The question is, how do you organize your book? Currently, I don't have a table of contents per se, but I have a general idea in my head of what it is that I want to put in it in a certain order. So as I progress through the book, here showing it to you, I've got the Witch's Creed, the 13 Goals of a Witch. Hi everybody, I'm sorry the video got cut off, and I have to do this really fast because my battery is about to run out as well. I should have charged it before I started this. We left off with the Witch's Creed. So I've got, like, after the Witch's Creed, I've got, let's go fast here. I've got the Witch's Pyramid, the Witch's Reed, the Creed of the Green Witch. Like, a lot of my pages have paintings in them. One thing you should know is, like, if I find a picture that I see, like, for example, online, and I feel like I can recreate it or make my version of it, I will do that. I will paint something. But a lot of this is my original work too. So, like, this is the Charge of the Goddess, and this is a watercolor that I did. So after her, I've got the Charge of the Crone, the Charge of the God, and then I get into the creation story. And I'm gonna do a whole walkthrough probably at some point in my Book of Shadows, but then, like, I have a page on magic and ethics, what magic is, and the ethics of practicing it. I think that was important to include in my book, and I haven't seen anyone else put it in, which is kind of really surprising. I have envelopes and random things. This book is very texturally interesting. So, like, there's full, like, this is an agate, that's a slice of an agate that's in here, that's for the earth element. Even, like, if I move on to my water one, like, this has real sand in it from an ancient seabed. I was hiking and we came across an ancient seabed that had, like, fossils and stuff, and I collected a bunch of sand, and I actually included this in my book. So it goes through, like, right now I'm working on the elements. Like, here's more like salamanders and undines and things like this. This is another painting that I did. And then I've got a new page here that I just started. It's like working with divinity. What does divinity mean to you? And then tips on working with divinity. And then, like, I work with angels, so right now I'm working on my angel page. And so, like, this is another watercolor that I did. So yeah, that's my book right now, and I will at some point do a flip through. So I think I answered pretty much all the questions on the 2017 first 4 questions, which were the Book of Shadows, which was the questions show and tell, how to protect and consecrate your book, how to organize your book, and how to start a book and getting over perfectionism. I think I covered how I did all that. So now really quickly, I'm going to do what the question is for the 2016. It says, how did you find your path? I found my path again. I was about 12 going on 13. I can't say that there was anything in particular that said you will become, you know, a witch someday. I think I've always been magically inclined from a little girl. When I was a little girl, like, I would go outside and call the wind to me. No one taught me how to do that. I just did it. I spent a lot of time digging for rocks and just being really rooted in the soil. I think it was just like a natural progression. Like, I always had interest in magic and crystals, and I think it's just kind of just naturally progressed that way. And I'm an avid reader, and I was especially an avid reader when I was a kid, so I think it just kind of came to be. How I really just, like, really found myself in that, though, was when I was about 15. I was in high school and I was hanging out with a new group of friends, and we were all kind of closeted in that way. And then come to find out, one day my friend mentioned like the goddess, like at lunch. We were having lunch and she said something, and like I flipped to her and I was like, what did you just say? And I asked her if she was a practicing pagan, and she said yes. Well, come to find out, 2 other of my friends were too, but we hadn't said anything to each other. So it was just like meant to be. And I'm still in contact with these girls. They're still practicing themselves. So yeah, so that's kind of how I came to be. The second question on the 2016 challenge was, are you in or out of the closet? I am, with most of my, well, all of my friends know, and I'm out of the closet. The only people who don't know are my family, because they are still very devoutly Catholic, and I think my sister might be okay with it. I have one sister, but my mom definitely not. She's very, almost, she's gone more through to like evangelist side, and no, so I don't think that will ever be something I say to her. But pretty much everyone else in my life besides my family knows. And of course I'm on YouTube now. So anyway, there are the answers to the challenges. Stick with me, get to know me, and I will try to be a little bit more consistent. I'm hoping that being with these challenges I can be more consistent on posting videos. But thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye.